Hey, everybody, here we are, episode 207 of Is This Thing Working? Here we are live tonight, 7 o'clock. Here we are in Texas. How you doing, Denise?
I am doing awesome and so glad to be here today.
Right?
You know, we got so used to every day being here Monday through Friday.
So regimented.
So regimented and doing that every single day. This is new. I mean, it's very new. So bear with us as we like sift through the weeds and bring you
figure out what we're doing here. Figure out what we're doing here.
Figure out what we're doing
and
here.
And as always, first and foremost, we're going to throw a disclaimer up here and let you know that these are our opinions and there are assertions. We do want to state that. And if you agree with us, you tell your friends and you share our show.
And if you don't agree with this, you please tell your friends and share your show, share this show.
Yep.
Man, because we do like the debate. Also, stomp that like button and please follow or subscribe wherever you see the name. Is This Thing Working? As you can see on the screen here, you can follow us on X at Is Thing Working, because somehow already someone took Is This Thing Working? So this is our Twitter page.
Yep.
You can follow us there, and you can follow James.
Yep.
That's me and James in the picture. Aren't we cute?
We are.
And you can follow him at James MA
41250108.
You sure can. There you go. There's James.
I've never changed that. It's irritated me to death.
Oh,
That's
my
the thing
gosh.
Elon gave me, so I had to go with it, man.
You know, I keep trying to tell him to change that. I said people might be able to find you easier if you changed it. Because I pretty much have to type in all the way to 412 to find him.
I like to keep my circle small.
Anyway, but y'all go follow him today. That would be awesome. He would really like that. And then there's me, Delia. See, we're live on X right now. So please share the show if you're on X and follow me at thing_working. And yes, it's Delia, but my name is Delia Denise. On the show, I am known as Denise. That's what I go by.
Yep. And also, as we've always talked about, you like our show, you stomp that like button, and you please follow and subscribe wherever you see the name Is This Thing Working? And also, we put out a podcast. It's available for download on all platforms like Spotify, YouTube, and wherever you listen. Also, download this Rumble app so you can follow the show. You'll receive instant notifications when we go live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.
I know. This is exciting.
All right. What's the
first thing we talk about?
What's the first thing we always do?
Yep. We're not going to change too much because we bring you the signal, not the noise, which is what Steve Bannon has taught us from thewarroom.org. Yep. So he is still a political prisoner.
Yep. As we speak.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep.
As we speak. Supposedly, he's supposed to get out in October sometime. I think at the end of October. They've been trying to get him out earlier, but we doubt that'll happen because the leftists can't stand him and want him in there.
What was the original date? Like November 3rd?
Yes.
Yeah, like something like that.
October 29th through November 3rd, around in there somewhere.
Right.
I think I've heard several dates.
Yeah.
You know, but it's right before the election.
And as we talk about, too, he's a political prisoner, and we've also got thousands of political prisoners still locked up in a D.C. gulag over exercising their First Amendment rights.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, and how dare they walk into the people's house?
Right.
Because that's what that is.
Exactly.
The people's house.
It is exactly the people's house.
You know, and they have a right to, you know, have their grievances heard. And so Steve Bannon, you know, everyone knows why he got sent to prison, because he is the leader.
He's the voice
of the MAGA movement.
Yes,
well, President Trump is actually the leader, but Steve Bannon is the populist who is pushing.
Yeah,
you know,
Steve's reaching people for the people. He always has.
He's pushing for you.
And we've talked about it over and over and over because we see Dave Brad on there, and we see we see
Harnwell
Harnwell and Mike Davis and all of them on
and
there.
Peter Navarro, who
Peter
is also
Peter Navarro,
a
and he hosts the
political
War Room
prisoner.
show. But the one that we know always you can count on her. She's going to sound just like and say the same things that Steve Bannon will, because she knows and believes the same things that Steve Bannon does. And that's Natalie Winters, man. She's awesome.
Is awesome.
And this is what she has to say to us today. It's our call to action. It's the same thing we're always telling you. Listen to her.
We know where your priorities are, and we're not going to fall for it. So, War Room Posse, I want you guys to do what you do best and do it in honor of Stephen K. Bannon, because they're doing the same BS that they did with Steve, the performative action before he went to prison. Now they're doing that with election integrity. And you know, if Steve were sitting here, I know I'm no Stephen K. Bannon, but I'm doing my damn best job. You know, he'd be saying the same exact thing, telling you guys to call 202-225-3121. I want you to call your congressman and tell them they better not just be a no, but a freaking hell no on the CR. And then I want you to call Mike Johnson and say you don't pass or you don't put forth another vote on a CR until the Senate gets their act together and Joe Biden signs the SAVE Act into law. We have the leverage. I know Republicans are used to losing, but we don't lose here in the MAGA wing of the Republican Party, and Speaker Johnson better get on board. That's 202-225-3121. We know where you're...
See what I mean? Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely.
Did that sound just like Steve?
It did.
Sounded exactly like him, because she's telling the truth.
She is, and she learned. I mean, she learned from Steve. He taught her everything that she knows.
Yeah.
You know,
and her talking about the CR and the SAVE Act today. What do you think? Well, what's your prediction? What do you see happening?
Well, I tell you right now, they've been at this hearing talking about it. Everyone's coming up and saying, you know, what they want and the same old stuff over and over again. My prediction is they're going to do what they always do. They're going to try to attach the SAVE Act, which, by the way, folks, has already passed in the House.
Yes.
So unless they can do something about a CR, they're going to pass the CR.
They're going to, well, yeah.
You know, and the then they're going to attach the SAVE Act. They're going to send it to the Senate. The Senate's going to strip it out.
Yep.
You know,
and send back a clean CR within it. And then they're going to mess around, not vote on it, and then we're going to end up with an omnibus in December.
That's it.
Yep.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I knew what you were saying. You were getting it out there.
But they're actually doing some stuff about it, right? I mean, they're talking about it right now. So we'll have the vote tonight or in the morning or overnight while we're sleeping.
So in the meantime, like Natalie said, call to action, be a force multiplier. Call 1-202-225-3121. Tell them vote no to the CR.
No, because that doesn't do anything. I mean, President Trump is still, they're still funding everything that's going on with President Trump, all of the lawfare, and Jack Smith, who the Supreme Court has already said is not a legal special counsel. So Garland
even admitted it during the hearing to Thomas Massey. Massey made him admit it. Yeah.
So we all know that this needs to not be funded, but they won't even talk about that part.
Right.
It's like they ignore it. And then they want to go home and have us vote for them in November. When the people have stood up and said, hey, the Rhino wing is not in charge no longer.
Right.
Just like Natalie just got through saying, they're not in charge no longer. The MAGA wing is in charge, and that is the people.
Yep.
And if you want to keep your jobs.
That's exactly right. I said that on Twitter today too. And I said that to all of them. If you vote no, if you vote yes on the CR, I'm voting no for you in November. You bet.
That's the only way.
Yeah. I mean, really, that's it. We're tired of it. We're tired of accepting losses, man. We're tired of compromise.
Absolutely, we are. And that's one thing Natalie doesn't compromise. But we're going to talk about President Trump. He's not going to compromise either when he gets back in office, because he's going to get back in office.
Yeah.
After 2 failed attempts at assassination on his life, this man is he's been everywhere today.
Yeah.
He went to bought burgers for everybody at a I was at a McDonald's. I think it was at a McDonald's.
He likes McDonald's.
He does. He does like McDonald's. He's funny that way, but
yeah.
he was in New York doing that. You know, I would be scared to death to leave my house.
Especially with the Secret Service. Yeah.
Yeah.
But well, I tell you what though, I'm 58, fixing to be 59 here in a couple of months.
Mhm.
And he's 20 years my senior. And I think he could work circles around me. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I've been looking at him though lately. He's looking a little tired.
Yeah.
I
I
think-
bet he is.
Well, look,
man.
he's been campaigning for 4 years
straight
straight.
and fighting the law.
And then, 8 years before that,
yeah.
so look at all this time that he's been campaigning. Shoot, man, this fella, he needs a rest.
Yeah, he
He needs
does.
a vacation. Like Joe Biden, who gets to sit on the beach every day, But when President Trump was in office, they counted the days that he went to play golf.
Yeah.
Well, I heard him on, I believe it was Hannity. I'm not even really for sure, but I heard him actually talking about golfing for him as exercise. I mean, it's like everyone goes to the gym, so what's wrong with him going to golf when that's his exercise? That's what he gets.
Hey,
and
exactly.
it's how he clears his mind. And he says, I also do business. He
Right.
says, I'm always doing business on the golf course,
Right.
So, but right now he is actually giving a rally
Yep.
in
As
Uniondale,
we
New
speak.
York, as we speak. And we thought we would just go and listen a little bit and see what he's got going
See
on
if you can-
here.
Yep.
And we're going to go through Rumble. Make sure you follow us on Rumble, please.
Here we go. You got hit live and turn the sound up.
There he is. Let's listen in.
He's a great boy, great parents, beautiful sister. Also with us are members of New York City Firefighters Union, Local 94, the largest in the city. Thank you, fellas.
Look at that, man. Look at all those
Incredible
people
people.
there.
And in their honor, I'm on. And I think this is a big deal because in your honor, I am announcing tonight that as president, I will officially make the Ground Zero site at the World Trade Center a national monument, protected and maintained by the United States government, so that hallowed ground and the memory of those who perished there will be preserved for all time.
Look at all those
forever.
people.
Yep.
This is in New York.
And you deserve it. A lot of great people. I met them last week. Thank you.
USA.
Look at that crowd, man.
Thank you.
For a podcast audience, man, they're
That's-
showing the crowd.
Well, and I
It's
met him last
it's
week
wild.
with the ceremony.
same
And it
old,
was a
same
beautiful
old, all the time.
ceremony, and met a lot of fantastic people. The New Yorkers who created the 9/11 National Memorial Museum really did an amazing job, didn't they? And many of them are here today, and I want to thank them. And I want to ensure that their outstanding work is sustained forever, and that's what we've done by doing this. So we are just 48 days away from the most
Where are
important
you going?
I'm sorry, guys. I
What
don't
are you
even know
doing?
what I did.
election in American history.
Leave
The
it
most
alone.
important. The most. Stand up. Now you can stand up. They didn't put your name down. Turn around. Who is he? Name him.
Name 'em.
He took care of business, right? It's my man. Good. Boy, I'm glad I didn't forget you.
Sorry, guys.
Good guy. Good friend of mine for a long time. Whenever I had problems, I'd look at him and they'd say, let's leave Trump alone. Thank you, man. Thank you. We appreciate it. Great gentleman. Kamala Harris is for wide open borders with terrorists and criminals pouring into our country, more inflation, even higher than the last 4 years, which was a record. She wants to pack the Supreme Court. Think of that one. And today I heard it all. I thought they wanted maybe 11, maybe they wanted 13. That's an unlucky number, so maybe it would be 15 instead of 9. But instead of 9, Kamala wants to bring up potentially as many as 25 justices.
Wow.
So that they can rig the system like they rig everything else, including elections.
Wow.
And maybe one of the worst things of all, she is a true believer. And again, I said this before, if you want to defund the police, if you've been there even for a day, in your mind you want to defund the police even for one day, you are not qualified to be the president of the United States.
There you go.
Because anybody who wants to defund the police, we can't have it. We can't have it. It'll go down. It'll go down. We're not going to let our country fail. It's too great. And you know what? If we don't win this election, it's very possible we'll never have another chance. We have to do it. You have to get out. You have to vote. But Kamala vowed to abolish ICE. She supports free health care for illegal aliens. How about that one? You don't get free health care. These are all things that she was for years. Now, for the last little while, she's saying, no, I don't really think that was right anymore. 15 different things. She wants mass amnesty and citizenship for all illegals, which means totally bankrupting Social Security and Medicare. She wants to put illegal aliens into your Social Security and your Medicare system, which guarantees their bankruptcy. She says we must not utter the words illegal alien again or radical Islamic terrorist again. And think of this, during her 3.5 years, to me, this is the worst thing I talk about tonight. It's unbelievable. During her period of 3.5 years, she was in charge of the border. She lost more than 325,000 migrant children, many of whom have been trafficked, raped, and many of whom are dead. Many of whom are dead. Think of what that is. That's like Yankee Stadium filled up many, many times. Think of it. Think of it. As California Attorney General, she redefined child sex trafficking, assault with a deadly weapon, and rape of an unconscious person. I'd never heard of this. Rape of a very unconscious person as totally nonviolent crimes. She vowed repeatedly to ban fracking. She imposed a natural gas export ban that is crushing the state of Pennsylvania. I'm way up in Pennsylvania, by the way. This helps.
Yes.
Yep.
She's not going to let, the day after the election, all of these things come back. I hope you know that. She praised the idea of a tax rate of between 70 and 80%. And her only idea for solving inflation is to impose communist-inspired price controls, which have never worked. She pledged to abolish. Does anybody here have private health care? You worked hard. She wants to abolish anybody that's worked hard and made some money. Private health care, no more private health care, and force everyone into a socialist government-run health care with high taxes and deadly wait times. And she even endorsed free sex change operations for illegal aliens in detention, all at taxpayer expense.
That's a fact.
I
Think of
wonder
that
if
one.
that's
They
even
come
a
into
thing.
the country
Do
illegally and they
illegals
say, I want
want
to
sex
change my
changes?
sex.
It's a fact that she allowed it.
Okay.
Yeah,
It is a
She's
fact.
totally
I do
in
know
favor
that's
of
a
it.
fact.
I'm sure she'll deny it now, but that's what she is. In 2021, Joe Biden tasked Kamala Harris with bringing broadband to rural America. Rural America was dying for it and gave her $42 billion to do the job. 3 years later, right now, not a single home has been connected to broadband. Everyone's saying, what happened to the money?
They laundered it.
$42 billion, not one home. And in the Midwest, you read this, in the Midwest, they built 8 charging stations. That's like a gas pump with electricity, right? 8. They spent $9 billion to build 8 charging stations. Other than that, it really works well. I will end the electric mandate on cars are moving.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. You're good.
We got a little buffering problem here, folks. I'm sorry about that.
And I have
Well,
to say this. Look, Elon Musk is
okay. Look, let's stop for a second then. It's interesting, though, that he talked about the border and he talked about the kids that have been trafficked and he talked about all of the things that the media continually tries to hide and not talk about over and over and over again, man.
I know. And, Marjorie Taylor Greene, representative, they were in a hearing today.
Yeah, a border security hearing.
Yeah. And so this is really amazing that he brought this up too,
I thought,
because one of the things that she really pointed out is they were talking about how many jobs they've created and, how the Biden and Harris have created all these jobs. And most of them continue to go to these illegal immigrants.
well,
But we have a great video that we want you to hear. And she is talking to the Santa Cruz County Sheriff Hathaways. This is his testimony claiming policies smack of racism, including walls. The Congresswoman says there are 77 border walls across the world and 45 countries are planning and building walls. Listen to what she has to say here.
You said certain policies smack of racism. For example, walls. I'd have you know, Sheriff, there are 77 major border walls around the world. 45 countries are planning and building more.
yes,
Walls are not racist. Walls keep people safe. And this
exactly.
country is not safe. People are being murdered every day. The woman you're sitting next to's daughter was raped and brutally murdered. That's not funny. Walls are not racist. Just within the past 2 weeks, there was an illegal alien driving his car over 100 miles per hour in my hometown, struck another car, critically injuring a baby, killing the baby's mother and the passenger in the car. That happens almost every day in our country because of illegal aliens coming in. It's not funny. It is not racist. And the American people have every right to be fed up, just like they are. Fed up and disgusted that our country is not keeping them safe. And guess what? They freaking pay for it. Their tax dollars pay for it. Thank you.
Not only do our tax dollars pay for it, our resources suffer because of it, man. Our safety suffers because of
You
it.
said
Yes.
certain policies smack of racism.
And one of the things that just drives me crazy, is that they sit there and act like that nothing is going on.
Right.
Like there isn't anything, no proof, like we don't see what's going on. And, there has been a lot of noise around, insurance rates, like in states, like car insurance rates. And what she said, really brought that, to my attention, because they're trying to say that the reason that our insurance rates on our cars are going way up is because illegals are driving and wrecking.
Well, it's because of the accident
And
rate.
the accident rates that are happening.
Exactly.
I mean, they come out and said that.
Yeah, it makes it makes your area less safe on the roads because of the amount of accidents. Just like the 2 accidents we seen today.
And it was
now, I'm not saying that those
shocking.
were by illegal immigrants, but what I'm saying is
There are a lot more
roads are
accidents
full.
on the road.
that's right. The roads are full, and that goes back to the resources thing that I talk about, man. We don't have big enough roads, especially in the rural areas, to manage that type of population influx, man. And it's never been fair. They say the taxpayers pay. She said taxpayers pay for it. And that's how we pay for it. You know what I mean? We pay for it in less developed roads. We pay for it in a bigger shortage of gasoline. We pay for it in a lot of different ways because
It takes us
that
longer to get to
influx of-
work.
that
And there's
influx of people.
more
yeah.
traffic on. I mean, Dallas and Houston and all the big cities already have an enormous amount of traffic every single day. Now, I used to go to Dallas all the time, into Houston, and now being in East Texas, I refuse.
We have a
I don't want to, because the traffic is so bad and people are neck and neck.
Yeah. And we are a major corridor between Houston and Texarkana. Highway 59, Interstate 69 runs right through our town, but we're a county of 88,000 people, and our roads are not built to handle. You've seen it. I've seen it. It doesn't have to be a wreck out there that's closing down 1 or 2 lanes of a highway. A normal 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, from 3 o'clock until 7 o'clock at night, good luck getting out on the highway, and you can sit there and see bumper to bumper traffic for as far as you look, man.
Yes, and
it's
today
just-
was bad. We were out there today, and we drive for a living, and
Still do.
podcast and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So we're out there in this traffic, and it is absolutely out of control. I mean, you can't get anywhere fast.
No.
And now, because of all the traffic, and you got to move people along, the red lights are taking forever too.
And-
They just 5 minutes. I clocked one.
yeah.
5 minutes, and there is no reason for all of that.
Right.
There should not be an over influx of people that we just can't handle.
Well,
I mean,
and
we have
that's
to pay
right.
for all these
And that's
things.
right. And we listen to the news people talk about how they're just moving these people to all these different cities and or towns, like Springfield. Hey man, if they had not had the thing going on about the Haitian immigrant that run over that boy, or they had not had the thing about eating cats and dogs, who in this country would have known that they had migrated 20,000 Haitians to that area of Springfield, Ohio, which is not a big place either.
No, and
just
it's
like,
really strange that we were just now hearing about where they went.
yeah,
Because we knew they were coming over here. Remember, we even talked
Yeah.
about it on our
Well-
show about how they would land on the Florida beaches.
that's kind of what I'm bringing my point to, I guess, is how many are in Angelina County? Do we even know? But you can look out there now. You can drive around the county, and you can drive up and down the highways, and you see a huge influx of people. So that there's a big, but
Well,
we don't
and-
know any numbers here, man.
No, and
you
it's really it's really amazing to me because Governor Abbott came out yesterday talking about how he was going to crack down on the Venezuela gangs.
Right.
So I'm real excited about that. Finally, someone's going to do something. They won't do it in Colorado, where
Right.
where they're like taking
Uh-oh.
over.
Uh-oh.
Where they're like taking over, the apartments and
Right.
kicking people out. Well, what they're doing is trying to get rent money from them
Right.
and all that kind of stuff. But one thing that really got my attention was the breaking news about our Attorney General Ken Paxton here in Texas. He is urging the Texas Secretary of State to request citizenship data from the federal government that would enable Texas to determine the citizenship status of certain registered voters for whom the state cannot verify eligibility to vote. And that is, he wrote it to the Honorable Jane Nelson. She's the Texas Secretary of State. Now, they came out recently with the amount of people that were on the roll that weren't supposed to be on the roll,
Right.
and they only found, 2,000?
6,000.
Yeah, it was 6,000.
That's what they said. Yeah.
Yes, and I heard someone say the wrong number, and I guess that was the 2,000. I said that's wrong, So they
Yeah,
got
I'm
it
thinking
backwards.
It was like 6,000.
They got it a little backwards. So
6,000 people that were ineligible to vote.
yeah, that were illegals.
Yeah.
And 2,000 of them had voted previously.
Yeah,
is the
and-
way I think it was.
And remember, we watched the War Room episode that day that Mark Mitchell was on there, and remember he said that they had done this study and they went to some apartment complexes in Houston, and remember he said that at one apartment complex alone that what 14%
14 of them.
14% of the people that lived in that apartment complex were illegal aliens, but had either voted or planned to vote.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, and still, you know, we keep seeing the numbers of new registered voters. There's
Yeah.
over 3 million in Texas.
Yeah.
Where's all them people? I mean, are
Exactly.
you telling me you're getting out and you're registering that many Republicans?
Well, yeah. You know,
Or
you
that
think
many
about it though.
Democrats,
You think about it though. 14%.
citizens?
That's 14
That's a lot.
people out of every 100. So, you know,
And
at
that is enough to change an election. I'm
You
sorry,
bet
no
it is,
matter
man.
what.
that's a lot
you know,
of people.
That's a lot of people.
14 out of every 100. That's a lot of people.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and so this is what we're fighting. And I know that the House and is trying to pass this SAVE Act so that we can make sure that only citizens vote in our elections. But it's already passed the House. The Senate needs to take it up and do something with
Yes,
it.
exactly.
That's what needs to happen. And they need to do something to fund the government without the pork. They need to cut some money.
Your senator's phone number. To reach your senator of your choice, dial 1-202-224-3121. To get your House of Representatives, 1-202-225-3121. Do it. Call them. Tell them vote no. Tell the Senate, don't you dare strip that SAVE Act out of there. Let them know if this doesn't get done the way that we need it to get done, we'll remember you come November 5th too.
Speaker Johnson.
Yeah.
I'm
sick of
listening
him.
to what's going on right now, and Speaker Johnson is just not on board with MAGA. He is a rhino.
He's a Democrat,
100%. And I don't know who is in his ear or why, but we need a shutdown of the government if you can't save America. We have pushed and pushed and pushed for 4 solid years.
Yeah.
Ever since you gained, and I'm so sick of we don't have the leverage. You got a lot of leverage.
They've had
you
all the
cannot
leverage.
sign anything and shut the government down until the Biden administration does what you need. And it isn't even you that are shutting the government down. It's the Democrats that are shutting the government down. This is what you need to continue to say. The Democrats are shutting the government down because they won't pass the appropriation bills that you have gone over and already put forth. Why can't you just go and do your appropriation bills? Why do you have to wait until the very, very end, almost September 30th, to try to push through an omnibus?
Because it's all performative, and the omnibus is what they're after, man. All of this other crap, just like you said, Mike Johnson is spineless. He holds all the leverage, man. He held all the leverage.
I get
Kevin
so sick of
McCarthy.
voting for these people.
Kevin McCarthy, he held all the leverage, man. And I guarantee you, both of them walked in Joe Biden's office, and Joe's like, y'all are going to do what the hell I tell you to do, and booted them in the butt on the way out the door.
Heck yes.
I'm telling you. And they stood there and took it.
Yes, they did. Hey, but you know what? The Teamsters decided to skip the presidential endorsement and refuse to support Kamala Harris as the majority of rank and file prefer Trump. Majority of poll voting members twice elected Trump. Now, this is interesting for the simple reason, because the Teamsters have consistently endorsed Democrat presidential candidates backing Hillary Clinton in 2016.
Oh, for forever.
Joe Biden in 2020.
Yeah.
The union also supported Barack Obama in both of his campaigns, as well as John Kerry in 2004 and Al Gore in 2000. This is huge.
Yes, this is. The people speak, man.
They do speak. And one of the main reasons is this. The Teamsters electronic member poll.
Yeah.
Trump, 59.6%. Harris, 34%. The Teamsters electronic member poll. Look, folks.
Look,
This
even
is
RFK got 6.4% though.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
RFK Jr. did. Yeah.
Even they know the people. That's why the Teamsters, the Teamsters president was at the Republican convention, but I didn't see him at the Democrat convention. Did you?
Not this year. No.
No, but I don't understand. What I don't understand is I'm not a fan of the Teamsters. Maybe because they've always been Democrat.
Right.
I don't know why. That I'm not a big union person at this point.
Back in the day, I worked at a meat processing plant in Colorado, and it was Teamster Union.
Really?
Yeah, I worked for that. I was a member of that union for a couple of years.
They do, they do the UPS, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And they've done really well for them.
Yes, they have. Yeah.
That we had them or somebody with their balls in our unions in the post office when we was there. There ain't no union there, by the way. It's all, well,
there's a union there.
Well,
but they hold no power.
They don't hold any power, and it's not right.
Yeah.
Anyway, but this is very, very interesting. I'm telling you, folks, the real poll of America, of all of America, is right there, right in front of you. Teamsters electronic member poll is the working middle class right there.
Yep.
That is a poll that scares the heck out of the Democrats and why they are in such a rush to get rid of him, President Trump.
Yep.
Because he is winning this. And it's not just him, it's populism. It's the working man. It's people coming against the government. It is people versus the government now.
It is. And it has been for a while. I've been saying this for a long time, that it's the people against the government, man.
It's, so this is, as you can see, I got this from the Gateway Pundit. And this was interesting that happened today.
Yeah.
Well, it started yesterday.
Yeah.
And the reason why I brought this up, because you never know what your government's going to do. And now I'm worried about even my phone, because they listen. If they can listen in, they're listening to us now. If they can listen in on us on our phones, then could they also explode our phones? I mean, I know this happened somewhere else. This is from the great Jim Hoft of the Gateway Pundit. But look what it says.
Well, yeah, it says Lebanon officials are now reporting that multiple home solar energy systems have exploded in various neighborhoods across Beirut. And this attack follows closely on the heels of Tuesday's pager blasts, which claimed the lives of 12 and left nearly 4,000 wounded in what is rapidly becoming an unparalleled security nightmare for the terrorist organization. On Wednesday, walkie-talkies exploded simultaneously at various Hezbollah-controlled locations across the country. Hey, who had this on their bingo card, man?
Right?
Yeah.
No way. I mean, this is, to me, is very, very frightening. Solar energy. Okay, so this is why it's frightening, folks, because everything that we own, the computers we're using, the TV, the, phones, everything is made in a different country. It's made in China. Just imagine they put something in the chip or something, and all of a sudden they just hit a button and all of our phones explode.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
the
kind
last
of the same
story
thing.
I seen was that they were trying to blame Israeli soldiers that had infiltrated and intercepted this load of cell phones and put them all in their own. So,
well, let's go on. Let's looky here and see what it says.
Yeah. It said that now reports emerged from Lebanon's official news agency detailing how home solar systems, often touted as a solution to climate change, were also going up in flames. Al Jazeera reported that several blasts took place simultaneously, similar to what happened on Tuesday, but this time it was mostly walkie-talkies or radios that exploded, he said, adding that report suggested that solar devices and some batteries in cars also exploded. Lebanon's official news agency reported that home solar energy systems exploded in several areas of Beirut.
So how can that happen? Home solar energies. I mean, that's what I mean by
It's all
when
it's all
people-
crazy, man.
when people build this.
But it's
are they
happening.
putting? It is happening. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not saying that it's not. I just wonder how it can happen. I mean, what? I'm still confused about how this can happen, because if this can happen anywhere, so all these people that are greenies and want all these solar systems in their houses on top of their houses are just going to explode. Can they just push a button and then explode? We don't know what's in them.
I guess so.
You know, that's what I'm talking about with the phones. We don't know what's in them. We don't know what they can, what could actually happen,
Right.
nefariously.
Well, think about this. What's the quickest and best way to take any country down is kill the grid. Take the grid out.
Exactly. 100%.
You know what I mean?
And here we have all these Chinese, just making land. I mean, building stuff all over.
No, I mean, kill the
lands.
electric grid. That'll shut the country down.
That's what I think they're here to do. Especially Texas's grid,
Right.
because some reason it's all of a sudden crazy.
I
here in
love the
Texas.
ad too.
Yeah, I do
buy me
too.
that glass. That's
Yeah, I want
pretty
that
cool.
glass. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. Yeah, you have to watch it with the Gateway Pundit articles, because I mean, they can end up kind of weird. But here, I wanted to say this real quick. Isn't this great? Federal Reserve cuts interest rates 50 basis points today, just in time to boost Kamala Harris.
Yep.
The
and
thing is,
lead us right into
lead us right into a recession. Hello. Yeah, this is going to happen. It's already people are already all over X going, Kamala crash is fixing to happen.
Yep.
They're going to try to hold off, and the big business is going to help them. Folks, the big business is really in there with Kamala Harris. You can say that, they're going to pay their fair share, but the big business already pays a lot already, and the people are not the ones that are getting the break. We get no breaks because, inflation has gone up. It's gone up and up and up. And now they're going to go and say, hey, look what we did over here after raising it so high and bringing in illegal immigrants, and continually every single year to pass a bill that is enormous enough to continue
to do what they do.
To do what they do. I mean, absolutely just, it's like it's thrown in your face all the time. And another thing that gets thrown in our face all the time is this woman. And I'm telling you, I am sick of her. What do you think, James?
You don't like her?
I'm just sick of her. I'm absolutely over Hillary Clinton.
This is the biggest criminal in the world, that, in my opinion, telling everybody that she would prefer to jail Americans for misinformation. Well, I agree with the Federalists. Let's start with her, man.
Absolutely.
Good
she
Lord.
needs to go to jail,
Yeah.
man. Look at her. Look at her. You just want to poke her in the nose. You know what I mean? And look at who she's talking to. These two. And I can't even no more. I will be thankful every single day that President Trump knocked her out of the White House for good, because she ain't coming back.
Yeah.
But this is from the Federalist, and it said Clinton might want to think twice before proposing prosecutions for spreading Russia propaganda. No one has done that more than she has. All she is gaslighting you.
Is there a video in this article too?
Let's look.
Here we go. Here we go. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Here she is.
Listen, here we go.
Rachel, one-on-one with Hillary Clinton.
And boosting Trump back in 2016. But I also think there are Americans who are engaged in this kind of propaganda. And whether they should be civilly or even in some cases criminally charged is something that would be a better deterrence, because
Yeah, you know what I think? I think
Needs to be
deleting
deterrence.
I think deleting 30,000 emails is a crime, and I think you need to be jailed for that. And that's not misinformation, that's truth. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, and the author of this article makes a good point. He says right here, Americans are free to spread as much Russian propaganda as they want, whether they believe any of it or not. We can shout all kinds of things from the street corner, hand out conspiracy theory pamphlets in the grocery store parking lot, and post the craziest stuff you've ever heard all day long on social media. If Hillary Clinton doesn't like it, she can go pound sand.
More to the point, though, like the writer continues on, misinformation isn't actually a thing. Neither is disinformation or malinformation. Those are Soviet terms that relate to psychological warfare. When Clinton and Maddow and other Democrats use these terms, what they really mean is facts I don't like and opinions I disagree with. Let me tell you something. The First Amendment tells me, tells you, tells every living human being in this country that if you don't like the government, you can oppose it and you have every right to say so.
Absolutely. What do you think, folks? First Amendment. We can say what we want. That's what we can do. And that is just what they hate. The Democrats absolutely hate the fact that you don't like them. You don't want their policies. You don't want them in power no longer. They can't stand it. And they are going to do everything in their power to cheat the election, to use lawfare against everybody that is, knows anything about the elections. They're going to threaten continually, and their rhetoric will never go away. It's always going to be there. President Trump is in danger every single day until and while he's president. He will always be in danger. And we need to find a way to keep this man protected because he needs to win. We need to take our country back, and we need your help. And we need you to be informed and become engaged, and make sure you follow us everywhere you see. Is this thing working?
Is this thing working?
Rise up. Have a good night. See you on Friday.
Well, hey, everybody, that's it for today. Thanks for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed the show. Hope you've learned some things about what's going on around us in the nation and in your communities. You know, we couldn't do this without your continued support either. We appreciate all of you showing up, taking the time to listen to us today. So please, like I say, make sure to hit the like button, share our show with all your friends. We'll see you next time on Is This Thing Working? And as always, I'm James, and that's my lovely co-host over there,
Denise.
and we'll see you next time.
We're out.